I can't do anything that I love doing without a come down.
Yeah. So you'd be like...
That's what used to happen, innit? I used to go and speak at an event, and then I'd be fucked.
Yeah.
And I couldn't deal. I was like, I'm doing things that I love doing, and I'm still unhappy after.
Because that's what bipolar is.
It's an adrenaline thing.
It's an up and a down and a... whether or not it's bipolar or if that's just a label for it.
It's adrenaline.
Whatever the label, whatever it is. But, I mean, but you also used to chase that as well.
Of course I did. It's a high.
Because you used to chase the high.
Mm-hmm.
So I can remember even in business, you would want to do a launch because that would give you a buzz. Yeah. It would be like, how many can I sell? And you did. That's why you did boxing.
How many can I get in a room?
You did boxing because you trained for a fight, and it was like and then it was a big high, and I was like, don't think that's why I didn't want you to do boxing, because I was like, there's a massive come down after. Yeah. Whether you win or lose, there's still a come down after it. So you all and spotting that pattern, and we're talking about like what I would advise women, like if you see that pattern of chasing a high, and that's obviously something to watch out for. I think I
still do that now.
Yeah, I'm just better at managing as long as it's healthy.
I'm just managing the come down.
I mean, there's lots of ways that people chase a high in terms of violence and like going out and fighting. I mean, that's some men like to do that, don't they? They go out on the weekend and have a fight, and that's just a chase.
That's happening through the week now instead.
That's just chasing a feeling, isn't it? Chasing an adrenaline.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Yeah.
I want to shift this focus completely from me and onto you. So you guys listening, Lesley, right now, how old are you?
I told God I was 83 this morning.
83? 83? I bet you felt 83.
And I said 83.
So Lesley's 38. I should probably know this, to be fair. Lesley's 38. She's running a 7-figure business. She's lives with 3 kids. An 8-year-old, 10-year-old, and I almost said, I'm a 40-year-old virgin. And she's also training 3-4 times a week and doing an MBA. How do you do all that? You know, when people tell me they're busy, oh, I'm too busy to do this. I'm like, come and look at Lesley's fucking schedule and I'll show you what fucking busy is, mate. Grow up. Sorry, that was a little bit harsh, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I would say that.
Well, I agree. I think people don't push themselves enough.
You know the thing? How do you know you're busy, mate? You haven't got a fucking schedule. How do you know you're busy? You're just making it up.
Yeah. I think number one priority is to be organised and efficient with your time. And the good thing about being a mum is that you've got no choice in sometimes to like. So. I
mean, you have, because there are some mums that, oh shit.
I suppose. Yeah.
And again, I'm sure they're trying their best.
Efficient with my time in the fact that like I haven't got all weekend to lie around and do nothing.
You kind of got self-imposed deadlines. Sorry, you haven't got self-imposed deadlines. You got
externally imposed.
Externally imposed deadlines. So it's like you have to fit a lot in a short period of time.
Yeah.
Rather than so your tasks don't expand.
Yeah, I think
most people give themselves loads of time to do shit and procrastinate and fuck around and try and make it perfect. You don't have that option.
Well, that's the thing. One of the things that I've had that I've learned over the last couple of years, which has been a struggle for us, is that I used to be a bit of a perfectionist, and I thought, you know what, you can only be the best at one thing. You can't be the best of everything in your life because you can't. I'd rather be great at loads of things than really mint at one thing.
Yeah.
Like, I used to get frustrated with my training because I wasn't, like, at athlete level. And I thought, well, you know what? I haven't got 3 hours a day to train. So I'm happy with being, like, top 2%.
Oh, fucking hell.
No, top 10%. That's kind of where I strive for. Yeah. Top 10%. That's me top 10.
I've got to do this a little bit with the podcast, because I'm like, why the fuck am I not getting as many downloads as them? I'm like, that's their full-time fucking job.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? This podcast is a bit of fun for us. It's not, we've still got a big coaching business to run. We still have all our other stuff to do. Like, the podcast is kind of a bit on the side.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, we've got to do the comparison game as well.
I suppose it depends. It also depends on your values as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I really value learning. And I always make time for it. I set my alarm at 6 o'clock every morning, no matter how shit I feel.
So
I get up and
this is a little secret for Lesley. She doesn't wait for the kids to wake her up. she gets up before the kids, and you do your study then.
I do my study for an hour and a half every morning.
Yeah.
Train on the night while the kids are.
I can neither refuse, I can neither confirm or deny that Lesley is also awake before me.
Max wounded you the other day when he said something about you sleeping.
He did, he did.
You were a little proper trigger.
He was triggered by something like, well, Dad, you've been lying in bed, you've just woke up. Well, I'm a shit sleeper, to be fair, like, so. So, we're up at 6, we're getting the study in. How do you fit the rest in?
Planning. Got to have a plan. We'll plan Sunday night. We'll have a family meeting. We'll plan
family meeting.
Sunday night.
Family meeting, yeah.
Sounds a little bit OCD when we're talking about
do you
it.
know, it kind of does. But I was saying, I even wrote this today, like, if you don't have a plan, how the fuck do you expect to be disciplined? If you don't have a plan, you actually have no freedom. And I think people don't like planning because they're like, oh, well, I just like to be flexible and free. I'm like, well, actually, you haven't got any flexibility or freedom. You got fake flexibility because you're not making any fucking progress in your life.
Yeah.
You're just going around in fucking circles, you're that flexible. So without a plan, you kind of you'd just be leaving it, you'd be hoping that you'd be hoping that you pass your exam. Yeah. You'd be hoping that you would get to the gym. You'd be hoping that you would build a big business.
I think also, I mean...
You can't build anything, you can't do any of that shit without a plan, full stop.
No, you're right.
It's like going to the gym and not knowing what you're going to do when you get there.
But also, I enjoy it. I value it. It doesn't feel like a chore. Like some people, if they set their alarm for 6 o'clock to get up and do something that they hate...
Yes.
Then yeah, they're not going to do it, are they?
Yeah, do you know, Leslie's touched on a great point here, because I get asked all the time, like, I just hate snooze all the time. I mean, the mistake that you're making is you're creating things in the morning. The first thing that you do in the morning is something that you hate. Of course you're not going to want to get out of bed. Of course you want to kind of spoon your missus, mate. You know what I mean? Of course you want to kind of back onto it. I don't know where that came from, by the way. I don't know where that came from. Yeah. It's that pre-workout's kicking in. I knew I'd get this in at some point. What are the Sneak supplements? Listen, hit up the Sneak supplements. Sneak, if you're watching, I'm in. So, Leslie's made a great point there. Like, she never has a problem getting up when that alarm goes off at 6, because the first thing she does, besides make a coffee, and sometimes one for me, is something that she wants to do, not that she has to do. Because you don't have to do that. I mean, I wouldn't do it. I don't think... I'm like, well, I don't need to do that. I haven't got any business qualifications, and I've built several 7-figure businesses.
Do you know one thing that I realised about was recently when I've done some... Like, learning is something that I value.
Why do you like learning so much?
I don't know why. I think it comes from... You know, I left school and I didn't go and do A-levels and stuff. The traditional way, I left school and I went... I thought I wanted to be in the police. So I did a NVQ at the police head, because you can't be in the police until you're 19. So I went and did a...
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's changed, but
when I was... Copper on the show, shouldn't we?
Yeah. When I left school, I went and worked for Northumbria Police as like a... What are they called then? A YT or something like that.
Apprentice?
Something like that it was. And I got bored with that, so then I went and worked in the solicitors and studied part-time. Like, from being 16, I worked full-time.
You should also put in that you passed all your GCSEs as well.
Well, that's not that impressive.
It fucking is. There's someone that's only got 2. I've only got 2. I was high for the rest of them. Jeez.
So I've worked full-time and studied part-time. I have
done that forever.
I did a law degree. Obviously, I did my A-levels part-time, law degree part-time, did my LPC on a weekend in Leeds, remember that? Mm-hmm. Used to go Leeds every weekend, work all week and then go to Leeds every weekend and do my LPC to qualify as solicitor.
I hope you're listening to this, by the way. You guys say you haven't got fucking time.
And then I can remember when I had qualified and then we had Max, I used to have nightmares in the middle of the night that I was doing exams and I hadn't revised for them. And I think it's just as a result of me habits and me, because I've always done that. When I was not doing it,
you felt like you weren't growing.
I felt like I wasn't growing. I used to have like little panic attacks, thinking, "Oh well, what am I? I'm just a mum now." What's like? So I don't know where my value of learning comes from, but I feel like it's part of me and identity. I think, and if I'm not doing it, maybe it's a fear of.
And would you say that would be learning anything, or because I'm keep trying to show you jiu-jitsu moves and you're not fucking interested? I'm like, yeah, Lesley, watch this. Look how he takes the back there.
I'm quite a logical thinker.
You're kind of an academic learner, I think. I'm not an academic learner.
You're creative.
I'm a practical and creative.
We're probably too
so
complete.
You should see Lesley trying to play games. Oh.
I know, I can't play with Nina.
Mommy, come and play shops.
I can play Lego, I can play colouring in and drawing, but I can't play the ones where you have to do the voices. Yeah.
Make believe
I've got no imagination.
Good. I am pretty good at them, like. Isn't that mad though? And it works, it clearly works all in business. Hey, I want to ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
What made you want to come in on this business? I don't know if I've even asked you this because it was kind of a back in 2019 we had a couple of guys working for us. Let's just say that no longer works for us, and then in 2019 it was just me with a fair few clients, and then you kind of came in and I don't want to say took over but you came in, and I remember at the time I was like, you need to make sure that this is something that you want to do, because I don't want you to feel like my assistant for a start. Because you're too smart for that.
Still get them letters.
Personal assistant. So I didn't want you to feel like my assistant, but then I also didn't want to make it, because that's a hard balance. That, like, how are you in business with your wife? Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You've seen so many things not. We know many people that have done this, and it's like, well, what about work, and how do you switch off when you get home, and how do you keep work set? I actually don't know how we do this anyway, but I don't know if we do, because you got to consider. I think this is the thing. If we didn't talk about when we got home, it would be an indication that we don't value it. We talk about it quite a lot. Because we value it and we love it, and you value different aspects of the business to me.
Completely.
So what made you come in?
Well,
felt sorry for us?
Well, when I came in, you needed somebody. It was a varied role.
I needed some help.
I've always done a little bits and bobs, haven't I? I've helped out with the events always. I've always done the accounts, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then in 2019 we had to get rid of a member of staff. Two members of staff. Mm-hmm. So it potentially was in the short term. I taught myself how to do everything that they were doing, with an idea of.
Why did you though?
Why? Well, honestly, just because you needed the help, first of all. Yeah. But then once I got into it and realised what I was good at and what I value, I don't value it all. I don't. There's lots of parts of, which is why we've got staff now. This
part you don't really like, to be fair. Talking, getting on video.
No, it's not my thing. Like I hate attention.
Lesley likes all the shit that I don't like.
Squirrel away and do the plans and make them happen. I mean, I get loads of satisfaction from planning.